We are afraid to live, a hard concept to take in, that we resist to be alive. That is not the biggest fear we have, because the truth is, we are afraid to live. We are afraid to be ourselves. We have learned to live our lives trying to satisfy what other people wants us to be. Where did it start? Ever since we were a child, we were taught good behavior equals reward, bad behavior equals punishment. We were taught that there are things you need to do in life. Those things taught us into what we are today. Even if you tell that you are now an adult and have a life on your own, the ideals of other people are still within us. We punish ourselves for not agreeing with them. In order for us to be happy and be satisfied in life, we first need to find out who we are. To recover what we really are, you need to know yourself, something that the world has taken from us. Do you really know what you like? What you dislike? What are your dreams? What are your goals? Are you sure that it is your dream? Why do you think that most of us are unhappy even if we achieve what people call success? Why? Maybe because we did not achieve the real success we really want. So how do we find out who we really are? This book, The Four Agreements, laid the foundation in finding who we are. It is based on the ancient Toltec wisdom to free us from limiting our belief in ourselves. These four agreements will bring you what you are looking for, the personality you've been robbed of since before. It is something we need to take on seriously to be able to finally find ourselves. First things first, what are agreements? When you were a child, you were taught that this thing is good and this thing is bad. If you're doing good, you'll be rewarded, maybe an ice cream sundae. If you did wrong, you might be scolded. Over time, it will be in our mind or brain what are the do's and the don'ts of life. Those are the agreements. However, some agreements there are not your agreement. Maybe it's your friends, your parents, your guardians, or in short, other people's agreements. And we don't really know which is which. That's why some people who look successful tend to still be sad with their life because the things they thought they want is not what they really want. So how do we find or how do we start finding our purpose, our own agreements, the agreements buried within us? Think of a building. The building is your agreements. In order for the agreements to be built, you first need to build the foundations. Think of the four agreements as the foundation of that building. Once you build up the four agreements, slowly you will be able to find out who you are. That's the promise of the book. Slowly, after building them, the hidden agreements within you will suddenly come out. That's why the four agreements are important. So let's start discussing them one by one. Agreement number 1. Be impeccable with your word. First of all, what is impeccable? According to Merriam-Webster, impeccable means not capable of sin. What does this mean? Sin from whom? Let's start from you. Imagine this. You are fed up with your own health problems. So one day, you told yourself, starting tomorrow, I will start exercising and fix my diet. And then the next day came. You don't feel like it, so you postpone it. Wait. Did you just lie to yourself? You said you'll do it tomorrow and you didn't do it. That's how you fail to be impeccable with your word. Words are powerful. It can destroy a human being. Have you really thought it can also destroy your own self? Once you say things, be responsible for it. Make sure you are doing it. If you don't feel like it, such as the example above, I recommend you to watch my book review for the 5-second rule. I will put a link in the description box. Being impeccable with your word does not only mean about yourself. It also means about others. When you tell your friend you'll be there at 8, be there at 8. When you don't want to go to your friend's party, just be honest and tell them directly. Don't lie to yourself. It seems very simple, but continuously lie to yourself and you'll lose your respect for your own being. Speak words in truth and in love. Do not ever gossip. Gossip is a strict no when it comes to this rule. Why? Because engaging in gossip destroys your thinking process. Imagine you are in a class and your new professor came. Suddenly, your seatmate talked to you about how unreasonable your new professor is. Now, you have a bad impression of that professor. But did you really check it out? Did you see for yourself if that professor is unreasonable or not? Of course you didn't. You just listened to the gossip. That is the problem. Maybe your seatmate failed the first time that he is the professor, so he is angry with the professor. That's how gossip changes us. You don't know? Gossip is a poison to your brain. It shuts it down. Make sure to research first on your own before believing in things. Agreement number 2. Do not take things personally. Your view of the world will never ever be the same with the view of others. You have a different past, different relationships, different experiences, different accomplishment, different failures in life. That's why they won't see the world the way you see it. That will never be the case. So think of it this way. What they think is not what you think. That's why you should never ever take things personally. That only spells disaster. Be immune to what others think of you, and you'll be free from the needless sufferings. To make you understand it better, here is an example for you. If the person is in a good mood, he will say how beautiful you are, how magnificent you are, how handsome or beautiful you are. Why? Because they are in a good mood. Now let's do it in reverse. If the person is in a bad mood and they talk to you, they will usually find you annoying. That's because they are in a bad mood. That is how they think the world right now. You might think that people are reasonable, but really no. People are creatures of emotion. Our response is mostly based on our emotions. So don't let other emotions pollute your mind. That's why you should always not take things people say personally. Agreement number 3. Do not make assumptions. We all have our own view on life. What's obvious to you might not be obvious to others, even with people closest to you. How much more on others? Always find the courage to ask questions and be clear to other people on what you expect or want. That way, you won't be on needless suffering, such as asking yourself why other people are not doing things you want. Communicate clearly to others to avoid needless drama, conflict, misunderstandings, and sadness. An example is in the business setting. There are moments where, because you're close to your business partner, you expect them to do what you want. The truth is that they don't know, and that's not the case. If you want to check out the finances of your company, ask them directly. If you want them to be more focused on the budget, tell them. If you have a contractor, tell them what you expect from them. That way, nobody will guess. People don't know what you think. It might be hard to tell the truth in person, but it is harder to just be quiet and thinking why your partners don't work the way you want them to be. Same with relationship. Don't assume that your partner knows all the things about you. You need to tell it to them directly. If they really love you, they will appreciate your honesty. Because people know that honesty will nurture both of you in a deeper and more meaningful relationship. Agreement number 4. Always do your best. This is the agreement that struck me the most because it is what am I experiencing recently. Your best is not constant. What I mean by this is that your best is different if you're sick or if you're healthy. If you got a full night of sleep or you didn't have enough sleep. If you are in a mood or if you're not. I always stumble upon not wanting to make videos whenever I'm in a bad day, but this alone changed it. It made me realize that as long as I did my best, the most important thing is I did the action. The 4th agreement helps you apply the first 3 agreements. Why? Because we are humans. We have bad days. We sleep up. It's okay. There are times where we will forget to be impeccable with our word. There will be times that we will fail to not take things personally. There will be times that we will expect something from someone. We make mistakes, but it is alright. If we did make mistakes, okay, note that mistake and move on. Forgive yourself. Continue applying all the agreements in your life. This is a lifelong journey to finally know yourself. Remember that the difference between the successful and the unsuccessful one is that those successful one, even if they fail, they still got up and did their best in everything that they do. Always do your best and see the result it has in your life. Those are the 4 agreements, a practical guide to personal freedom. As always, see you in the next video.